Welcome. We all want to improve. We all want to be better, do better, and reach our full potential. But the truth is, it's easy to feel lost or overwhelmed when you think about all the things you need to change. That's why today I'm going to walk you through it step by step. 20 major keys that will truly change your life if you apply them. These keys are not just ideas, they're practical, actionable habits that you can start using right now. What if I told you that by making a few changes in your mindset, your actions, and the way you approach life, you could unlock the door to a better future? Imagine waking up each day with a sense of purpose, knowing exactly what you need to do to move forward. Imagine feeling like you're always in control, always growing. That's exactly what these 20 keys are designed to help you do. In this video, we're going to talk about things like taking responsibility for your life, building a clear vision, setting goals that actually work, and learning how to manage your time and money. These are not just motivational words. They're the foundation of real, lasting change. You don't need to be someone else or try to be perfect. You just need to start applying these steps to your own life. Stick with me, because as we go through each of these keys, you'll begin to see how small changes can lead to huge results. The path to a better life starts with understanding the right principles and then taking action. So stay with me until the end. I promise you'll walk away with tools you can use today to start transforming your future. Let's get started into these 20 keys that will transform your life. The most important step toward a better future is taking responsibility for your life. And let me tell you why this is so crucial. The moment you decide to take full responsibility, you're telling yourself that you're in charge. You're not waiting for someone else to fix things for you. You're not blaming your parents, your boss, the government, or even luck. You're saying, it's on me. My choices got me here, and my choices will take me where I want to go. Now let's be clear. This is not about pointing fingers at yourself or feeling guilty about the past. Guilt is a trap. It keeps you stuck. Responsibility, on the other hand, is freeing. It's like saying, okay, I might not have chosen all the circumstances in my life, but I do get to choose how I respond to them. That's where the power lies in your response. You see, life happens to all of us. Things don't always go as planned. You'll face setbacks, disappointments, and challenges. But here's the truth. It's not the events in your life that define you, it's how you handle them. Are you the kind of person who throws up their hands and says, well, there's nothing I can do? Or are you the kind of person who says, this isn't ideal, but I'm going to figure it out? When you take responsibility, you stop giving your power away. Blaming other people or external circumstances is easy, but it's also a dead end. When you blame, you're essentially saying, I'm not in control. And if you're not in control, how can you possibly change anything? But the moment you own your life, your decisions, your actions, and even your mistakes, that's the moment everything starts to shift. Now let's talk about what taking responsibility looks like in real life. First, it means being honest with yourself. Look at your life as it is today. Are you where you want to be? If not, why? What choices did you make that brought you to this point? Maybe it's the job you took, the habits you formed, or the relationships you've allowed in your life. Whatever it is, take a good, hard look. This isn't about beating yourself up, it's about clarity. You can't fix what you won't face. Second, stop making excuses. Excuses feel good in the moment, but they don't solve anything. How often do we say things like, I don't have enough time, or I'm not lucky like other people? Those are just stories we tell ourselves to avoid taking action. The reality is, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The difference is how you use them. Another part of responsibility is focusing on what you can control. Let's be honest, there are things in life you can't change. You can't control the weather, the economy, or other people's behavior. But you can control your action, your attitude, and your effort. That's where your energy should go. When you focus on what you can do instead of what you can't, you start to see opportunities instead of obstacles. Here's another thing. Responsibility is about being proactive. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for someone to come along and give you permission to live your life. Start now. If you're not happy with your health, take the first step today. If your finances are a mess, make a plan. If your relationships aren't fulfilling, work on improving them or move on. The point is, do something. Waiting never gets you anywhere. Let me share a little secret with you. Taking responsibility doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. When you start owning your life, you become more confident. You realize that you're capable of solving problems and creating opportunities. You stop feeling like a victim and start feeling like a creator. But let's not pretend this is easy. Taking responsibility is hard work. It means admitting when you've made a mistake. It means facing uncomfortable truths about yourself. It means letting go of the stories and excuses that have been holding you back. But I promise you the reward is worth it. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you're in control of your life. Sure, things won't always go your way, but you'll know that whatever happens, you have the power to respond in a way that moves you forward. That's the kind of freedom and peace of mind that comes from taking responsibility. If you're ready to start, here's what you can do today. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 areas of your life that you're not happy with. Maybe it's your health, your finances, or your relationships. Next to each one, write down what choices or actions you took that contributed to the situation. Be honest. This is not about blaming yourself. It's about understanding how you got here. Then write down one thing you can do today to start improving each area. It doesn't have to be a big step. Small, consistent actions are what create real change. The key is to take ownership and start moving in the right direction. This is your life. No one is coming to save you, and no one else is responsible for your happiness, your success, or your future. That's your job. And the good news is you're more than capable of doing it. Taking responsibility isn't just the first step to a better future, it's the foundation. Everything else we're going to talk about builds on this. So decide right now that you're going to own your life, because once you do, the possibilities are endless. Let's move forward together. What's next? It's up to you. But I can promise you this. When you take responsibility for your life, you set yourself up for greatness. If you don't know where you're going, how can you expect to get there? A clear vision is not just about knowing what you want, it's about seeing it, feeling it, and believing in it. It's about creating a picture in your mind of the life you want to live and letting that picture guide your actions every single day. When I say vision, I don't mean some vague idea of I want to be successful or I want to be happy. That's not enough. You've got to be specific. What does success look like for you? Is it building a business, having financial freedom, or creating strong relationships? What does happiness mean to you? Is it waking up every day with energy, feeling at peace with your choices, or spending quality time with your loved ones? Your vision has to be detailed. It has to be clear, because clarity brings power. Think about it. When you walk into a dark room, what's the first thing you do? You look for a light switch. You can't move confidently in the dark because you can't see where you're going. Life works the same way. Without a clear vision, you're just stumbling around, hoping you'll end up in the right place. But with a vision, it's like turning on the light. Suddenly, you can see the path ahead, and you know what steps to take. Now, creating a vision doesn't mean you have to figure out every single detail of your future. Life is unpredictable, and things will change along the way. But you do need a direction, a destination that excites you and motivates you to take action. That's what a vision does. It gives you a reason to get up in the morning and keep pushing forward, even when things get tough. One of the biggest mistakes people make is setting their vision too low. They aim for what's comfortable, what feels safe. But let me tell you something. If your vision doesn't challenge you, it's not big enough. A real vision should stretch you. It should scare you a little, but it should also excite you so much that you can't stop thinking about it. Here's the thing about a clear vision. It doesn't just guide your actions, it shapes who you become. When you're clear about what you want, you start to align your thoughts, habits, and decisions with that vision. You start acting like the person you need to be to achieve it, and over time you become that person. But let's get practical. How do you create a clear vision? Start by asking yourself some questions. What kind of life do you want to live? What do you want to achieve? What kind of person do you want to be? Don't just think about these questions. Write down your answers. There's something powerful about putting your thoughts on paper. It makes them real. It gives them weight. Once you've written down your vision, take it a step further. Close your eyes and imagine it. See it in your mind as if it's already happening. Feel the emotions that come with it. The pride, the excitement, the joy. The more vivid your vision, the more real it will feel, and the more motivated you'll be to make it happen. Now, having a vision is one thing. Keeping it alive is another. Life is full of distractions. It's easy to lose sight of your vision when you're caught up in the day-to-day grind. That's why you need to remind yourself of it constantly. Look at your written vision every morning. Visualize it before you go to bed. Surround yourself with reminders, pictures, quotes, anything that keeps your vision at the forefront of your mind. But here's an important point. A vision without action is just a dream. You've got to back it up with effort. Once you're clear about what you want, ask yourself, what do I need to do to get there? Break your vision down into smaller, actionable steps. Then start taking those steps one at a time. Progress might be slow at first, but every step forward brings you closer to your vision. And let me tell you something else. Your vision is yours. It's not your parents', your friends', or society's. It's yours. Don't let other people tell you what you should want or what you should do. Listen to your heart. Trust your instincts. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with the choices you make. But don't keep your vision to yourself. Share it with people who support you and believe in you. There's something powerful about speaking your vision out loud. It makes it feel real, and it holds you accountable. Plus, you never know who might be willing to help you or inspire you along the way. Be patient with yourself. Creating a life that aligns with your vision takes time. There will be setbacks and challenges. There will be days when you doubt yourself. That's normal. But don't give up. Remember why you started. Keep your vision in front of you and keep moving forward, because every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to the life you want. A clear vision is the foundation for a better future. It's what gives you direction, purpose, and motivation. So take the time to create your vision. Make it as vivid and inspiring as possible, then let it guide your actions every single day. With a clear vision and consistent effort, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Most people talk about their dreams or their desires, but dreams without goals are like plans without direction. The difference between the dreamers and the doers lies in one simple thing: the ability to set clear, actionable goals. When you set goals, you're not just hoping for success, you're taking deliberate steps toward it. You're giving yourself a clear target to aim for, and you're making a commitment to yourself that you're going to do what it takes to reach that target. But here's the catch. If your goals are vague or undefined, you're setting yourself up for failure without even realizing it. Without a precise goal, there's no real path to follow. You're just drifting. But when you get specific, you turn your vision into something real, something measurable, and something achievable. Think about it like this. Imagine you're in a boat on the ocean, and you don't have a map or a compass. If you don't have a clear destination in mind, you're just going to float around. You might enjoy the ride for a while, but eventually you'll realize that you're getting nowhere. Now think about having a map and a compass. You now have a clear path. You know where you're going, and you can adjust your course if things aren't going right. That's what setting precise goals does for you. It gives you direction. It lets you see the road ahead and figure out exactly how to get there. But setting goals isn't enough just by itself. You need to be specific. If you want to lose weight, don't just say, I want to get in shape. That's too vague. What exactly do you want to accomplish? How many pounds do you want to lose? What's your timeline? How are you going to measure your progress? Be specific. I want to lose 15 pounds in the next 3 months by exercising 4 times a week and eating healthier. That's clear, that's actionable. Now you have something to work with. When you set specific goals, you also make it easier to stay motivated. Think about it. When you don't have a clear goal, it's easy to get sidetracked. You can go days or even weeks without feeling like you've made progress. But when you can see exactly what you're working toward, every small step counts. Every workout, every healthy meal, every positive choice you make adds up. And when you start seeing results, your motivation increases and you're more likely to keep going. Goals also give you something to measure. If you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you've arrived? You need to track your progress. This is where it's important to not just set the goal, but also break it down into smaller, measurable steps. Let's say you have a goal of building a business. Instead of just saying, I want to start a successful business, break it down. Start with what you need to do to get there. Research your market, create a business plan, set a budget, find customers. Each of these steps is a goal on its own, and when you accomplish one, you move closer to the bigger picture. But setting goals isn't always easy. Often when people set big goals, they feel overwhelmed. They look at the long road ahead and think, this is too much. I'll never make it. That's where most people quit. But you have to remember, goals don't have to be accomplished all at once. The key is to focus on the small steps that will lead you there. Take one step at a time. That's how big things are accomplished, through small, consistent actions over time. You don't need to see the entire path right now. Just take the first step and then take another. Keep moving, keep adjusting, and soon you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Let's also talk about the importance of setting deadlines. Without a deadline, there's no urgency. And when there's no urgency, there's no push to act. Your goals need a sense of time attached to them. You need to set deadlines that are realistic, but also challenge you. A deadline helps you focus. It tells you, this is the time frame I have to get this done. When you put a deadline in place, you're telling yourself, this is my commitment. I'm going to take action, and I'm going to make it happen by a certain date. And when that deadline comes, you'll either have achieved your goal or you'll have learned something valuable from the process. Either way, you're growing. But here's something important. Not all goals are created equal. You need to make sure that the goals you set align with your long-term vision. There's no point in achieving something that doesn't move you toward your ultimate destination. Your goals should serve as stepping stones that bring you closer to your bigger picture. If your goal is to get in shape and your bigger vision is to feel confident and healthy for the long term, your goal should reflect that. If your goal is to build wealth, but your larger vision involves financial freedom so you can enjoy your life and contribute to others, make sure your goals are connected to that deeper purpose. Now let's talk about something else that's often overlooked when setting goals, the importance of being flexible. Sometimes things don't go as planned. The path isn't always straight, and the journey can take unexpected turns. But that's okay. Don't get discouraged if things don't unfold exactly how you envisioned. Adjust your goals if necessary, but never abandon them entirely. Flexibility is key to staying on track. The world changes, and you have to adapt, but your commitment to your vision should remain unwavering. When you set goals, don't forget to celebrate your progress. When you achieve a goal, no matter how small, take the time to acknowledge it. This doesn't mean getting complacent. It means appreciating the hard work you've put in and using it as fuel to keep moving forward. Celebrating small wins builds momentum. It reminds you that the work you're putting in is paying off, and it keeps your energy high for the next goal. Remember, setting precise goals is about giving yourself clarity, direction, and purpose. It's about having something to work toward that excites you and drives you. Goals are what turn your dreams into reality. They are the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. So take the time to set your goals with care. Make them specific, measurable, and connected to your deeper vision. Most people spend their time focusing on external circumstances, on trying to change the world around them. But the truth is, you can't change anything until you start with who you are. If you want to achieve success, happiness, or even peace, it begins within your thoughts, your mindset, your habits, your character. Those are the things that shape your world. Let me be clear about something. The world isn't going to change for you. The economy isn't going to magically get better for you. Your circumstances won't automatically align with your desires. If you want your life to change, if you want things to improve, you have to improve. That's the reality. You can't wait around for a perfect situation or the right moment. The right moment is now, and the person who needs to change is you. You see, every successful person, every person who's achieved something meaningful in their lives has one thing in common. They worked on themselves more than they worked on anything else. They made personal development their priority. They knew that success wasn't just about the skills they learned or the money they earned. It was about becoming the kind of person who could handle success. It was about becoming someone worthy of the things they desired. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not just about reading self-help books or going to seminars. It's about applying what you learn. It's about taking action. If you want to improve, you have to be willing to do the work day in, day out. It's about pushing yourself to grow. It's about building the character and mindset that will support your goals. It's about learning how to deal with setbacks, how to be resilient in the face of challenges, and how to keep going even when things get tough. A lot of people spend their lives waiting for opportunities to come to them. They wait for someone to hand them the right job, the right business deal, the right relationship. But here's the thing. Opportunity doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who are prepared. It comes to those who are ready. And the only way to be ready is to work on yourself. When you're the best version of yourself, you attract the right opportunities and you attract the right people. You attract success. But it starts with you. So how do you work on yourself? The first thing you have to do is take full responsibility for your life. No more blaming other people or circumstances. You are where you are because of the choices you've made. This is a tough pill to swallow, but it's also the most liberating one. When you realize that you are the architect of your own life, that you have the power to create the life you want, it's a game changer. But taking responsibility is just the first step. Once you take ownership, you have to make a conscious effort to improve, and it starts with your mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you think you can't, then you won't. If you think you're not good enough, then you won't be. But if you start believing that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, you'll start to see things differently. Your mind is a powerful tool, but only if you use it in the right way. This is where personal development comes in. It's not enough to just have positive thoughts. You need to have a growth mindset. A growth mindset means that you believe your abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort and dedication. It means that you don't give up when things get hard. You see challenges as opportunities to grow, not as obstacles to avoid. You embrace failure because you understand that failure is just part of the process. It's how you learn, how you improve, and how you get better. But it's not just about your mindset, it's also about your habits. Your habits define you. The small choices you make every single day, the things you do without even thinking about them, are what shape your future. If you have bad habits, your life will reflect that. If you have good habits, your life will reflect that too. This is why working on yourself isn't just about learning new things, it's about developing the right habits. Whether it's waking up early, exercising, eating right, reading, or taking time for reflection, the habits you develop today will create the person you become tomorrow. And let's not forget about your health. Your health is the foundation of everything else. If you're not taking care of your body, nothing else matters. You won't have the energy or the focus to chase your dreams. You won't have the stamina to keep going when things get tough. But when you take care of your health, when you eat well, exercise regularly, get enough sleep, and manage your stress, you set yourself up to succeed in every other area of your life. Your body is your vehicle, and if you don't maintain it, you won't be able to go far. Now, working on yourself isn't just about building your own success. It's about becoming someone who can contribute to others. You see, the more you work on yourself, the more you'll be able to help others. The better you become, the more value you can add to the world, and when you add value to the world, you'll find that success comes naturally. The universe rewards those who are willing to give more than they take. So work on yourself, not just for your own gain, but so that you can serve others and make the world a better place. But let's get real for a moment. Working on yourself isn't easy. It's not a quick fix. It's a lifelong process. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when things get hard, when you don't see immediate results, but that's when you have to dig deep. That's when you have to remember why you started. You must remind yourself that your work today will pay off in the long run. And even when you feel like you're not making progress, remember that every small step counts. Every small improvement adds up over time. And as you work on yourself, you'll start to see changes. You'll become more confident. You'll become more capable. You'll become the kind of person who attracts the success and the opportunities you've been dreaming of. The more you invest in yourself, the more you'll grow. And as you grow, your life will reflect that growth. Your career, your relationships, your health, your finances, they'll all improve as a result of the work you've put into becoming the best version of yourself. But here's the most important part. You can never stop working on yourself. There's always room for improvement. There's always something new to learn, a new skill to develop, a new habit to build. The moment you stop growing, you stop living. So keep pushing, keep growing, keep learning. The person you become will determine the life you live. And remember, this is your life. You have the power to shape it, to create it, to make it whatever you want it to be. Discipline is the cornerstone of success. It's that one thing that makes everything else fall into place. Without discipline, all the dreams and goals in the world don't mean much. You can have all the talent, intelligence, and ambition you want, but if you don't have the discipline to follow through, you won't get very far. So what is discipline? It's about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's about staying consistent, putting in the work day after day even when it seems like nothing is happening. It's about pushing through the tough times and staying committed to the bigger picture. Discipline is about making your actions align with your goals, and that's where the magic happens. Now, let's be real for a second. Discipline isn't always easy. It's not something that comes naturally to everyone. But the truth is, no one is born with discipline. It's something you build, something you practice every day. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And just like with any other skill, you get better with time and repetition. But here's the thing about discipline. Once you build it, it changes everything. It changes the way you show up for your goals. It changes the way you approach challenges. It changes your ability to see things through, no matter how difficult they may be. Discipline starts with making choices. Every day you have choices to make. Do you get up early and put in the work, or do you hit the snooze button and sleep in? Do you stay focused on your tasks, or do you get distracted by social media, your phone, or other things that don't move you closer to your goals? Every choice you make adds up. And the more disciplined you become, the easier it is to make the right choices. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for the perfect moment to act. You take ownership of your time and your actions, and that's when everything starts to shift. But the real power of discipline comes from consistency. It's not about making huge leaps or sudden breakthroughs. It's about showing up every single day and doing the work even when you don't see immediate results. Success doesn't happen overnight, but discipline allows you to stay on track when the going gets tough. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you're tired, frustrated, or discouraged. It's about sticking with it when everyone else is quitting. One of the biggest challenges to discipline is the lack of instant gratification. In today's world, we're used to getting things quickly. We want results fast. But that's not how discipline works. Discipline requires delayed gratification. It requires you to be patient and trust that the hard work you put in today will pay off in the future. This is where a lot of people fall short. They want things to happen right now, and when they don't see immediate results, they get discouraged and give up. But the truth is, the best things in life take time. The best achievements require effort, persistence, and patience. And discipline is the key that unlocks that door. Another important aspect of discipline is self-control. Self-control is the ability to resist temptation and stay focused on what matters. It's easy to get sidetracked by distractions, whether it's binge-watching your favorite television show, scrolling through social media, or giving in to other forms of instant gratification. But discipline teaches you to say no to the things that don't serve your goals and yes to the things that do. It's about building a lifestyle where your actions reflect your priorities. If you want to achieve success, you have to have control over your time, your focus, and your energy. And that comes from practicing discipline every day. Discipline is also about setting boundaries. You need to set boundaries for yourself and for others. That means saying no to things that don't align with your goals. It means protecting your time, protecting your energy, and making sure you're spending your time on things that matter. Setting boundaries also means saying no to the things that might feel good in the moment but don't contribute to your long-term success. It means resisting the urge to procrastinate, resisting the urge to take shortcuts, and resisting the urge to quit when things get hard. Now, discipline is also about having the right mindset. It's about having the mental toughness to push through difficult times. Life isn't always going to be easy. You're going to face challenges, setbacks, and obstacles along the way. But discipline helps you face those challenges head on. It helps you keep going when things get tough. It helps you keep your eye on the prize and not get distracted by the bumps along the road. And the more you work on developing discipline, the easier it becomes to maintain that mindset. You stop focusing on the problems and start focusing on the solutions. You start focusing on what you can control, not what you can't. One of the best ways to build discipline is to start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Start with one small habit that you can commit to and build from there. Maybe it's waking up a little earlier, exercising for 20 minutes a day, or cutting out a bad habit. The key is to start with something manageable and stick with it. Once you prove to yourself that you can stay disciplined in one area of your life, it'll become easier to apply that discipline to other areas. And as you build momentum, you'll find that discipline starts to feel more natural. It stops feeling like a struggle, and instead it becomes part of who you are. Another powerful tool in building discipline is accountability. Having someone to hold you accountable can make a huge difference. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a coach, having someone to check in with can help you stay on track. It's easy to let yourself off the hook, but it's much harder to let someone else down. Accountability keeps you honest and motivated, and it gives you the push you need to keep going, especially when you feel like giving up. But here's the thing. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's not about being flawless or getting everything right all the time. You will make mistakes. You will have setbacks. You will face challenges. But discipline is about getting back up, learning from those mistakes, and moving forward. It's about committing to the process even when things don't go as planned. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about staying the course no matter what. When you master discipline, you unlock your full potential. You stop being controlled by your circumstances. You start controlling your life. You begin to see results. And not just any results, but the kind of results that make you proud. The kind of results that give you the life you've always dreamed of. Because discipline isn't just about doing the work, it's about doing the work consistently even when no one is watching. It's about putting in the effort every single day even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up for yourself, and in doing so, you show up for your future. Whether you realize it or not, the circle you choose to be a part of plays a huge role in shaping your future. If you want to grow, to level up, to become the best version of yourself, then you need to be extremely careful about who you allow into your life. You need to choose your circle wisely. And this isn't just about picking friends or acquaintances who make you feel good in the moment. It's about choosing people who push you, challenge you, support you, and help you grow. You see, your circle isn't just about the people you spend the most time with. It's about the people who influence your thoughts, your actions, and your mindset. The people you surround yourself with have the power to either lift you up or pull you down. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, by people who complain and make excuses, you're going to find it much harder to stay motivated and focused on your goals. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, who are focused on growth, and who are working towards something bigger than themselves, that energy will rub off on you. Think about it. How many times have you been around people who talk about their dreams, their goals, and their ambitions? And how many times have you walked away from those conversations feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to take action? That's the power of being around the right people. The people who believe in themselves, who believe in the power of hard work and perseverance, are the ones who will push you to be better, to aim higher, and to never settle for less than you deserve. On the other hand, if you're constantly around people who are stuck in a victim mindset, who are always making excuses, or who are too afraid to take risks, their energy will drain you. You'll find yourself doubting your own abilities, questioning your decisions, and second-guessing your goals. And before you know it, you'll start to adopt that same mindset, and your progress will come to a screeching halt. This is why it's so important to be selective about the people you let into your life. If you want to be successful, you can't afford to waste your time with people who aren't going anywhere. Now, I'm not saying you have to completely cut ties with people who aren't at the same level as you, but you do need to be mindful of who you spend the most time with. It's about balance. Yes, you can still have friends who are at different points in their lives, but if you want to move forward, you need to have people in your circle who are where you want to be, or even better, people who are ahead of you. The truth is, you need people who will challenge you to become the best version of yourself. You need mentors, coaches, and like-minded individuals who can help you grow, who can provide valuable feedback, and who can show you the way when things get tough. One of the key elements of a strong circle is accountability. The people you surround yourself with should hold you accountable for your actions and your decisions. They should be the ones who aren't afraid to call you out when you're slacking or making excuses. Accountability is a huge part of success because it forces you to show up and put in the work even when you don't feel like it. When you have people around you who expect you to deliver on your commitments, it pushes you to do the things you might not do on your own. It keeps you disciplined, focused, and committed to your goals. But accountability doesn't just mean having people who will hold you responsible for the things you say you're going to do. It also means having people who will lift you up when you fall. Because let's face it, we all face setbacks. We all have moments when we feel like giving up, when we feel like the odds are stacked against us. In those moments, you need people around you who will remind you of your potential, who will encourage you to keep going, and who will help you get back on track. That's the kind of support you need to keep moving forward, even when things aren't going as planned. Another crucial part of choosing your circle is finding people who challenge your thinking. You want to surround yourself with individuals who don't just agree with everything you say. You want people who will ask you tough questions, who will push you to think differently, and who will challenge you to see things from a new perspective. Growth doesn't happen when you're surrounded by yes men or people who simply tell you what you want to hear. Growth happens when you're pushed outside of your comfort zone, when you're forced to confront your weaknesses, and when you're challenged to improve. And the best way to make that happen is to surround yourself with people who aren't afraid to speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. But here's the thing about choosing your circle. It's not always easy. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions. Sometimes you have to walk away from people who no longer serve your purpose, even if they've been in your life for a long time, and I know that can be hard. It can be difficult to let go of relationships that have been a part of your life for years, but remember, you have to prioritize your growth. If someone is holding you back, if someone is constantly bringing negativity into your life, if someone is preventing you from becoming the person you were meant to be, then it's time to let them go. This doesn't mean you have to be rude or cut them off completely, but it does mean you need to set boundaries. It means being willing to say no to people in situations that don't align with your goals. It means protecting your time, your energy, and your mindset. And, most importantly, it means choosing your circle based on what will help you grow, not what will make you feel comfortable. When you make the conscious decision to surround yourself with the right people, your life will begin to change in ways you never imagined. You'll start to see new opportunities. You'll begin to feel more motivated. You'll have the support you need to push through the tough times, and you'll have the accountability you need to stay on track. Your mindset will shift, and you'll start thinking bigger, aiming higher, and achieving more. But choosing the right people to be around isn't just about your success. It's about the energy you bring to the table as well. You see, it's a two-way street. While it's important to choose people who will lift you up, it's equally important that you become someone who lifts others up. It's about creating a circle of mutual support where everyone is working together to help each other succeed. When you surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you, make sure you're also inspiring and challenging them. When you help others grow, you grow. When you support others, you get supported. And remember, it's not just about business or success in the traditional sense. Your circle should be made up of people who share your values, who care about you as a person, and who want to see you thrive, not just in your career, but in your personal life as well. It's about having people around you who genuinely care about your well-being, who will be there for you when you need them, and who will cheer you on every step of the way. You can have all the wealth, success, and material possessions in the world, but if you don't have your health, you'll never truly enjoy them. Taking care of your body should be your top priority. The truth is, if you don't take care of your health, everything else becomes irrelevant. Your energy levels will be low, your mindset will be clouded, and your ability to pursue your dreams will be limited. And we all know that no one is getting any younger, so it's time to wake up to the reality that your health is the key to unlocking your full potential. When you prioritize your health, you're not just investing in your body, you're investing in your future. You're setting yourself up to live a long, vibrant, and productive life. But it takes effort. It takes discipline. It takes making the choice every single day to do what's necessary to stay in shape, stay active, and stay healthy. It's about choosing to eat the right foods, choosing to move your body, and choosing to give yourself the rest you need to recharge. It starts with the basics. We all know that exercise is important, but I'm not just talking about hitting the gym once in a while or doing a workout when it's convenient. I'm talking about making exercise a non-negotiable part of your routine. You don't have to be a bodybuilder or a marathon runner, but you do need to move your body every single day. Whether it's going for a walk, hitting the gym, doing yoga, or any other form of exercise that works for you, make it a habit. It's not about being perfect, it's about consistency. Exercise is not just about physical appearance, it's about what it does for your mind and your energy levels. When you exercise, your body releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that boost your mood and reduce stress. Exercise helps to clear your mind and sharpen your focus. It gives you the energy you need to take on the challenges of the day, and it makes you more resilient in the face of adversity. If you want to be successful in anything, you need the energy to do the work. You need the stamina to push through difficult moments, and exercise provides that. It gives you the mental and physical strength to keep going when the going gets tough. But health isn't just about exercise, it's also about what you put into your body. You can't expect to feel good, perform well, or have the energy you need if you're constantly fueling your body with junk. You need to nourish your body with the right food. And I know it's not always easy. Temptations are everywhere, but you have to make the conscious decision to choose foods that support your health, not harm it. This means eating a balanced diet full of whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. This means cutting back on processed foods, sugary drinks, and fast food that are loaded with empty calories. Food is fuel. It's what powers your body. And just like you wouldn't put low-quality fuel into a high-performance car, you shouldn't be putting low-quality food into your body. When you feed your body the right foods, you feel better, you have more energy, more focus, and better overall health. And let's not forget about hydration. Water is essential to every function in your body. It keeps your organs functioning, helps with digestion, and even boosts your brain power. So make sure you're drinking enough water every day to keep yourself hydrated and performing at your best. But here's the reality. It's not always going to be easy to stick to a healthy lifestyle. Life gets busy. You have work commitments, responsibilities, and all sorts of things pulling you in different directions. There will be days when you don't feel like working out, when you're tempted to reach for that sugary snack, or when you just want to skip the meal prep and grab something quick, and that's okay. It happens. The key is consistency. It's about getting back on track as soon as you can. It's about having the discipline to make the right choices even when it's hard. But don't be too hard on yourself when you slip up. Health is a journey, not a destination. No one is perfect, and that's fine. What matters is that you get back on track and keep moving forward. Make small, sustainable changes that you can stick with in the long run. Don't try to make drastic changes overnight. Start by incorporating more fruits and vegetables into your meals, cutting back on processed foods, and finding ways to move your body that you actually enjoy. It's all about making it a part of your lifestyle, not just something you do when you feel like it. And don't forget about the importance of rest. Rest is where the magic happens. Your body needs time to recover, rebuild, and recharge. Without proper sleep and recovery, you won't be able to perform at your best. no matter how much you exercise or eat the right foods. So make sure you're getting enough sleep each night. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep to give your body the rest it needs to function optimally. Health is about balance. It's about taking care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. When you take care of your physical health, you're not just investing in your body, you're investing in your mind, your productivity, and your overall well-being. Your physical health impacts your mental clarity, your ability to focus, and your ability to handle stress. When you're healthy, you're more resilient. You're more equipped to handle the challenges that come your way. You're able to think clearly, make better decisions, and perform at a higher level in every area of your life. Your health is the most valuable asset you have. Don't take it for granted. Take care of your body now, and it will take care of you in the future. In today's world, we have endless opportunities for learning and growth. Yet most people aren't tapping into that potential. They go through life just following the same routines, getting stuck in the same old patterns, and never realizing that everything they need to succeed is available to them if they just choose to learn. The truth is, learning doesn't stop after school. It's a lifelong process, and if you want to make your future better, you have to commit to continuous learning every day. Let me tell you something. Successful people are the ones who never stop learning. They understand that knowledge isn't something you acquire and then put on a shelf. It's something you continue to seek, explore, and grow. And this doesn't just mean reading books or attending seminars, although those are great tools. Learning comes in many forms. It's about being curious, asking questions, and finding opportunities to expand your understanding of the world. There's no such thing as I know enough. The more you know, the more you realize there's so much more to learn. If you want to be successful, if you want to live a meaningful life, if you want to be the kind of person who can handle anything life throws at you, you have to embrace learning. You have to make it a priority. And this isn't just about knowledge. It's about developing skills, improving your mindset, and growing as a person. This is about becoming better every single day. Here's the thing. The world is changing fast. Technology is evolving. Industries are shifting. And the way we do business is constantly being reinvented. If you're not committed to continuous learning, you're going to get left behind. The world is moving forward, and you need to move with it. If you're not growing, you're falling behind. If you're not learning, you're stagnating. The future belongs to those who are willing to learn, adapt, and evolve. This doesn't mean you have to be an expert in everything, but you do need to become a lifelong learner. Learning doesn't just happen in a classroom or from a book. It happens through experience. Every failure, every challenge, and every success teaches you something valuable. The trick is to recognize those lessons and apply them. When you're constantly learning, you're constantly growing, and when you're constantly growing, your potential becomes limitless. There's a difference between being knowledgeable and being wise. Knowledge is about gathering information, but wisdom is about applying that knowledge in a way that makes a difference. It's about taking what you learn and using it to create positive change in your life and the lives of others. This is why it's so important to make learning a lifelong habit. It's about more than just reading or listening to podcasts. It's about putting what you learn into action. Think about the people who inspire you the most. Think about the successful people you look up to. What do they all have in common? One thing you'll notice is that they are all dedicated to learning. Whether it's through books, mentorship, or experience, they never stop seeking new knowledge. They understand that growth doesn't come from staying the same. It comes from expanding your mind and your skill set. Now, this doesn't mean you have to become a workaholic or spend every waking hour studying. You don't have to give up your hobbies or your time with loved ones. But you do need to be intentional about learning. It means carving out time every day, even if it's just 30 minutes, to read a book, listen to a podcast, or watch a video that adds value to your life. You can also learn from the people around you. Don't underestimate the value of conversations. The people you meet, the experiences you have, and the lessons you pick up along the way, those are all valuable opportunities for growth. Don't make the mistake of thinking that you have to learn everything on your own. Seek out mentors. Find people who are where you want to be and learn from their experiences. The great thing about mentorship is that it can save you years of trial and error. You don't have to make all the mistakes yourself. Others have already walked that path, and they can teach you the shortcuts. Continuous learning also means being open to new ideas and being willing to change your mind. Too many people get stuck in their ways because they think they know it all. They think they have it figured out, and they're not open to new perspectives. But that kind of closed-mindedness will hold you back. When you open yourself up to new ideas, you expand your horizons. You start to see things from different angles, and that's when real growth happens. One of the best ways to keep learning is to embrace challenges. When you face something difficult or unfamiliar, you're forced to grow. You're forced to expand your knowledge and skills. That's why it's important to push yourself out of your comfort zone. It's easy to stay in familiar territory, but that won't help you grow. It's the challenges, the obstacles, and the problems that teach you the most valuable lessons. And every time you overcome one, you become stronger and wiser. Learning also means getting comfortable with failure. We all fail at some point. It's part of life. But instead of seeing failure as a setback, see it as an opportunity to learn. Every failure is a lesson. Every mistake is a stepping stone toward success. Don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it to fuel your growth. And when you're learning, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the people around you. The more you learn, the more you can give. When you grow, you can help others grow too. Your success isn't just about you, it's about how you can impact others and contribute to the world around you. Continuous learning gives you the tools you need to make a difference. If you truly want to change your life, you need to commit to learning every single day. You need to be hungry for knowledge, curious about the world, and willing to invest in your own growth. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new. And every day that you don't learn is a missed opportunity to get one step closer to the life you want. Don't wait for someone to teach you everything you need to know. Take responsibility for your own learning. Make it a priority. And as you do, you'll start to see your life change. You'll see your skills improve, your mindset shift, and your results get better. And over time, that continuous learning will compound, leading to success and fulfillment beyond your wildest dreams. Your time is one of the most valuable things you have. It's a resource that once spent can never be regained. You can always earn more money, find new opportunities, or make more connections, but you can never get back the time that you waste. Time waits for no one, and how you manage your time will define the course of your life. So if you want to create a better future for yourself, you have to start by learning how to guard your time. Because how you spend your time is how you spend your life. Every day you have 24 hours, the same as everyone else. What you do with those 24 hours is what separates the people who succeed from those who just get by. Think about it. When you're busy doing something that doesn't matter, when you're stuck in a cycle of distractions, or when you're just killing time, you're essentially throwing away precious moments that you'll never get back. That's why it's crucial to guard your time like it's your most valuable asset, because in many ways at Island, a lot of people waste time without even realizing it. You scroll through social media for hours, binge-watch television shows, or find yourself caught up in unnecessary drama or conversations. These things might feel like they're filling your time, but they're not moving you closer to your goals. And before you know it, those hours turn into days, those days into weeks, and those weeks turn into months. Suddenly you're looking back and wondering where all your time went. It's gone, and you can't get it back. So what do you do about it? The first step is to take control. You need to become intentional about how you spend your time. You need to decide what truly matters and what doesn't. Start by eliminating distractions, cutting out the things that aren't adding value to your life, and making room for the things that really count. This is where the power of focus comes into play. You can't afford to be distracted by things that don't matter. Your time is too precious. Now, this doesn't mean you can't have fun or relax from time to time. We all need downtime. We all need moments to recharge. But you need to be intentional about that too. Don't let your relaxation turn into a whole day wasted. Don't let 1 hour of downtime turn into 3 just because it feels good in the moment. Be mindful of how you spend every hour. Is what you're doing right now contributing to your personal growth? Is it helping you move closer to your goals? Guarding your time means saying no more often. In fact, the ability to say no is one of the most powerful tools you can use to protect your time. Too often we say yes to things that don't align with our priorities just because we feel obligated. You don't need to attend every meeting, take on every request, or be available to everyone who asks for your time. Your time is your own, and you have the right to use it as you see fit. When you learn to say no, you free yourself from the weight of other people's expectations and commitments that don't serve you. But here's the thing, saying no doesn't always come easy. You'll feel guilty at times, and people might not always understand. But you have to remind yourself that saying no to the wrong things is saying yes to the right things. Every no you say is a yes to your goals, to your personal growth, and to your future. So don't be afraid to set boundaries and protect your time fiercely. It's the only way to create the life you want. Another key to guarding your time is planning. If you don't plan your day, then the day will plan you. Without a plan, you're just reacting to whatever comes your way instead of proactively pursuing your goals. When you have a plan, you're in control. You know exactly what you need to do, and you've set aside the time to do it. Every day is a chance to get closer to your dreams, but if you're not planning how you'll use that time, then you're just letting it slip away. Start each day by making a list of what you need to accomplish. Break down your goals into actionable steps and assign specific time blocks for each task. Don't just write down a list of things to do. Make a plan for how you'll use your time to accomplish them. The more detailed your plan, the more likely you are to stick to it and stay on track. And here's the thing. There's power in completing even small tasks. When you cross something off your list, it's a reminder you're making progress, and that keeps you motivated. But it's not just about planning your day, it's about planning your life. When you're clear on your long-term goals, it becomes easier to decide how to spend your time in the short term. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing today helping me get closer to where I want to be in the future? If the answer is no, then it's time to reevaluate how you're spending your time. Time is a long-term investment. Every decision you make today has an impact on your tomorrow, so it's essential to make choices that align with your bigger vision. Time management also means knowing when to take a step back. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, but sometimes the best way to protect your time is to take a pause, rest, recharge, and reflect. This will prevent you from burning out and help you maintain focus on what really matters. The goal isn't to be busy, it's to be productive. Being busy doesn't mean you're moving forward. You can be busy doing the wrong things. But when you're focused on the right things, you'll find that your time is better spent and your efforts are more effective. One of the best ways to guard your time is to make sure you're constantly asking yourself the question, is this the best use of my time? If you're unsure, take a moment to reflect. Is what you're doing right now getting you closer to your personal and professional goals? Is it moving you forward, or is it keeping you stuck? The more frequently you ask yourself this question, the more intentional you'll become about how you use your time. And let me tell you something. The people who succeed, the ones who build incredible lives, are the ones who've mastered the art of time management. They know exactly where their time is going. They're not wasting it on things that don't matter. They've got a plan and they stick to it. They're intentional, focused, and committed to using every single moment wisely. That's how they create success. When we talk about money, there's often a lot of confusion and fear. People think about money as this distant thing that only a few people seem to have, and the rest of us are just trying to figure out how to get by. But here's the truth. Money is a tool. It's not magic, and it's not something to be afraid of. It's simply a resource, and the way you manage that resource can shape your future in powerful ways. Understand that managing money is not about having a ton of it. It's about how you handle what you have. Whether you make a little or a lot, the principles of good money management apply to everyone. This isn't about being rich. It's about being smart with what you've got. And being smart with your money can have a tremendous impact on your life. It can give you the freedom to pursue your passions, support your family, invest in your future, and live without constantly worrying about where your next dollar is going to come from. The first key to mastering money management is understanding your relationship with money. A lot of people grow up with the wrong ideas about money. Maybe they were taught to avoid talking about it, or they were raised with the belief that money is the root of all evil. But the truth is, money is neither good nor bad. It's neutral. It's just a tool, and like any tool, it can be used in ways that are beneficial or harmful. The goal is to use money wisely, to make it work for you rather than letting it control you. The next step in mastering money management is creating a clear understanding of where your money is going. If you don't know where your money is going, how can you possibly know how to manage it effectively? The first thing you need to do is track your spending. Write down every penny you spend, and at the end of the month, look at your habits. Where is your money going? Are you spending it on things that are bringing you value, or are you throwing it away on things that don't really matter? Take a hard look at your expenses and ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this contributing to my future? It's easy to get caught up in buying things that give us temporary pleasure, but when you're serious about creating a better future for yourself, you have to be mindful of where your money is going. This might mean cutting out some of the things that aren't really adding value to your life, those impulse buys, those subscriptions you don't use, or the dinners out that could easily be replaced by cooking at home. These little expenses add up, and over time they can drain your resources and keep you from reaching your goals. Once you've tracked your spending and become more conscious of where your money is going, it's time to make a plan. Budgeting is not about restricting yourself or making you feel guilty for spending money. It's about taking control. It's about deciding where your money should go so you can use it to support your priorities. A budget is a tool that allows you to allocate your resources in the best way possible so that every dollar is working for you, not against you. Start by breaking down your income and determining how much you need to allocate for necessities like rent, bills, groceries, and transportation. Once you've covered your basic expenses, you can decide how much to set aside for savings, investments, and personal growth. This is where the real power of money management comes into play. When you save and invest your money, you're building a foundation for the future. You're setting yourself up for long-term success, and that's something that's going to pay off down the road. A lot of people struggle with the idea of saving money. They think they don't have enough to save or that it's too late to start, but the truth is it's never too late. Even if you're only able to save a small amount each month, that small amount can grow over time. The key is consistency. The earlier you start, the more you'll benefit from the power of compound interest. Even if you don't have a lot to work with now, start where you are and commit to saving a little bit each month. Over time, that money will grow, and it will give you the financial security you need to weather life's challenges. But saving isn't the only piece of the puzzle. You also need to be thinking about investing. Investing is one of the most powerful ways to build wealth over time. When you invest, you're putting your money into something that can grow, whether it's stocks, real estate, or a business. The key to investing is understanding risk. There's no such thing as a sure thing, but with research, patience, and the right mindset, you can make your money work for you. A lot of people are afraid to invest because they don't want to lose their money, but here's the thing. If you don't invest, you're losing out in a different way. Inflation is a real thing, and the longer you keep your money in a savings account or under your mattress, the less it's worth over time. Investing is how you outpace inflation and grow your wealth. And the sooner you start, the more time your investments have to grow. Whether it's stocks, bonds, or real estate, the goal is to find investments that align with your long-term goals and risk tolerance. It's also important to remember that money is not just about numbers and investments, it's about mindset. You have to believe that you can manage your money well and create wealth. If you have a scarcity mindset, one that says there's never enough, you'll find yourself constantly struggling to make ends meet. But if you have an abundance mindset, one that says there is always enough, you'll be more likely to attract opportunities, take risks, and make wise financial decisions. Your mindset plays a huge role in your financial success. The people you surround yourself with can have a huge impact on your life, both in good ways and bad ways. Relationships in any form are a big part of what makes life rich, meaningful, and fulfilling. But not all relationships are equal. Some people will lift you up, challenge you, and help you grow. Others may drag you down, pull you off track, and hold you back from reaching your full potential. That's why it's so important to be intentional about the relationships you nurture. Your circle should be filled with people who encourage you, challenge you to be better, and support your dreams. The right relationships are the ones that empower you to become the best version of yourself, not the ones that leave you questioning your worth or doubting your potential. The first thing you have to understand is that not every relationship is worth your time or energy. There are people in your life who might mean well, but are simply not in a place to support your growth. Maybe they're caught up in their own struggles, or maybe they're stuck in negative patterns that don't align with the kind of life you're trying to build. It's not that you don't care about these people, but you have to be careful about how much of your emotional energy you invest in relationships that aren't helping you move forward. There are people who are constantly negative, complaining about life and blaming everyone else for their problems. If you find yourself spending a lot of time with people like that, ask yourself this: is this person helping me become a better person, or are they holding me back? Are they dragging me down into their own frustrations, or are they encouraging me to rise above? Sometimes the hardest decision you'll have to make is to distance yourself from people who aren't supporting your growth, no matter how much you care about them. But it's not just about getting rid of negative influences. It's about actively seeking out people who will push you to grow, challenge you, and encourage you to be the best version of yourself. These people are the ones who won't let you settle for mediocrity. They'll be the ones who believe in you even when you're not sure you believe in yourself. They'll be there to pick you up when you fall, and they'll remind you of your worth when you forget. Building meaningful relationships doesn't happen by accident. It requires effort, intention, and a willingness to be vulnerable. You have to show up for the people who matter to you just as you hope they'll show up for you. You have to be willing to give, to listen, to support, and to be present. Relationships are a two-way street. It's not just about what you get out of them, it's about what you're willing to contribute as well. One of the most important things you can do in any relationship is to be genuine. People can sense when you're being authentic, and they'll respect you more when they know you're being real with them. Don't try to be someone you're not just to fit in. It's the real you that people will connect with. Be honest about your struggles, your dreams, your fears, and your hopes. When you open up and show people the real you, that's when the strongest, most meaningful relationships are built. But relationships aren't just about talking, they're about listening too. It's not enough to just share your own thoughts and feelings. You also have to be there to listen to others. Listening is one of the most important skills in any relationship. It shows the other person that you value them, that you care about their perspective, and that you're willing to invest in their well-being. When you listen with empathy and understanding, you create a space where people feel safe to open up, share their struggles, and be themselves. You also need to surround yourself with people who inspire you, people who are pursuing their own dreams and passions. When you're around people who are actively working on their own personal growth, it creates an energy that pushes you to do the same. It's like a cycle of motivation and inspiration that lifts everyone up. These are the relationships that will keep you on track, help you stay focused on your goals, and encourage you to keep moving forward even when things get tough. As you work on building meaningful relationships, it's important to remember that quality matters more than quantity. You don't need a huge circle of friends, and you don't need to try to please everyone. What matters is that the people you choose to spend time with are the ones who align with your values and vision for the future. You want to be around people who challenge you to grow, not people who encourage you to stay stuck. Building a strong support network is crucial when life gets tough. And it will. You need people you can lean on. You need a group of people who will be there for you no matter what. Whether it's family, friends, mentors, or colleagues. Your support network is the group that will help you navigate life's challenges and come out stronger on the other side. The people in your support network should be the ones who uplift you, remind you of your strengths, and help you find solutions when you're facing obstacles. But it's not just about having people in your corner when things are tough. A meaningful relationship is one that brings joy and fulfillment into your life even on the good days. These are the people who you laugh with, who you share experiences with, who you create memories with. They're the ones who remind you of what truly matters, and they help you stay grounded when success starts to feel overwhelming. These are the relationships that enrich your life and make it truly worthwhile. And don't forget about the power of giving in relationships. Giving doesn't always mean material things. It can also mean offering your time, your support, your attention, or your encouragement. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can give someone is simply being there for them. Offering your help, showing you care, and being a source of positivity can create bonds that last a lifetime. In fact, the more you give, the more you'll receive, because true relationships are built on mutual respect, support, and trust. But at the same time, don't forget to set healthy boundaries. Healthy relationships don't mean you should be available to everyone all the time, and they certainly don't mean you should let people take advantage of you. Boundaries are a way of protecting your energy, your time, and your well-being. It's okay to say no when you need to, and it's okay to prioritize your own needs. Setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's necessary for maintaining strong, healthy relationships that are mutually beneficial. The people you surround yourself with will determine a lot about the life you lead. Your relationships have the power to either lift you up or hold you back, so make sure you're choosing your circle wisely. Nurture the relationships that matter. Be intentional about who you let into your life and build a network of people who inspire you to be the best version of yourself. When you do that, you'll create a life that's rich with love, support, and meaning. The right relationships will give you the strength to tackle any challenge, the encouragement to pursue your dreams, and the joy that comes from being connected to others in a genuine and meaningful way. You probably heard it said that communication is key, and that's because it truly island. Communication is how we connect with others, how we express our thoughts, feelings, and needs, and how we navigate through the world. The way we communicate can either build strong relationships or tear them down. It can bring people together or push them apart. It can make you successful or keep you stuck. Now, you might think of communication as just talking, but it's so much more than that. It's not just the words you say, it's how you say them. It's your tone, your body language, your ability to listen. It's about making sure the message you're trying to send is actually being received the way you want it to be. And just as importantly, it's about being able to understand the message someone else is trying to send you. Think about it. How many times have you had a conversation where the person you were talking to just didn't seem to get what you were saying? Or maybe you've been in a situation where you tried to communicate something important, but it didn't come across the way you intended and everything got misinterpreted. Poor communication leads to misunderstandings, frustrations, and missed opportunities. On the flip side, good communication leads to better relationships, more success, and greater happiness. It's the bridge between people, allowing us to share ideas, solve problems, and make progress together. But to be a great communicator, you need to be more than just a good talker. You need to be a good listener, too. Listening is a skill that is just as important, if not more important, than speaking. When you really listen, you show the other person that you value their thoughts and opinions. You give them the space to express themselves, and you create an environment of trust and respect. But listening isn't just about hearing the words. It's about understanding the emotions behind those words. It's about paying attention to the tone, the body language, and the unspoken messages. You need to be present in the moment and truly absorb what's being said. The problem is that too many people don't actually listen. They're too busy thinking about what they're going to say next or letting their mind wander. But when you do that, you miss out on important information, and you lose the opportunity to connect on a deeper level. So start paying attention to the people you're talking to. Give them your full attention. Look them in the eye and don't interrupt. Show them that you care about what they're saying. It's a simple but powerful way to build better relationships and make sure your communication is effective. When it comes to speaking, clarity is key. The more clearly you can express your thoughts, the easier it is for people to understand you and take action on what you're saying. Avoid beating around the bush or overcomplicating things. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Keep your message simple, straightforward, and to the point. When you're clear in your communication, people are more likely to take you seriously and respond positively. But clarity isn't just about using simple words. It's also about being intentional with your message. Before you say anything, think about what you want to achieve. What is your goal in the conversation? Are you trying to persuade someone, share an idea, or solve a problem? Once you're clear on your goal, tailor your words and tone to support that objective. If you want to motivate someone, use positive, encouraging language. If you're discussing a difficult issue, be mindful of your tone and approach. Being intentional with your communication makes your message more powerful and effective. Another important aspect of communication is being able to express yourself with confidence. Confidence is contagious, and when you communicate with confidence, people are more likely to trust you and follow your lead. But confidence doesn't mean arrogance. It's about believing in what you're saying and standing behind your words. It's about being comfortable with who you are and not second-guessing yourself. When you communicate confidently, you show others that you're in control, that you know what you're talking about, and that you believe in your own abilities. At the same time, you also have to be open to feedback. Communication is a two-way street, and sometimes the other person will have valuable insights or perspectives that can help you improve. Don't be so focused on getting your own point across that you forget to listen to the other person's feedback. Be open to constructive criticism and take it as an opportunity to grow. Good communicators are always learning and improving. Another powerful communication tool is the ability to ask the right questions. Asking questions shows that you're engaged in the conversation and that you care about understanding the other person's point of view. It also helps clarify things when you're not quite sure about something. The key is to ask open-ended questions that invite discussion rather than yes or no questions that shut it down. Questions like, what do you think about? Or, can you explain that in more detail? Show that you're interested in hearing the other person's perspective and that you value their input. Nonverbal communication is also a huge part of how we interact with others. Your body language, facial expressions, and gestures all send powerful messages. Sometimes what you don't say speaks louder than what you do say. For example, if you're speaking to someone but your arms are crossed or your body is turned away from them, you're sending the message that you're not fully engaged or interested in what they're saying. On the other hand, if you make eye contact, use open body language, and show genuine interest in the conversation, you create a more positive, welcoming environment. Body language can also give you important clues about how the other person is feeling. If someone is avoiding eye contact or fidgeting, they might be uncomfortable or unsure. If they're leaning in and nodding, they're likely engaged and interested in the conversation. By paying attention to these nonverbal cues, you can adjust your approach to make the conversation more effective. Challenges, we all face them. They're part of life. Some of them are small and manageable, like a minor inconvenience you have to deal with here and there. Others are massive obstacles that feel impossible to overcome. But here's the truth. Challenges are not just obstacles, they are opportunities in disguise. Opportunities for growth, for learning, and for showing the world, and more importantly, yourself, what you're truly made of. Let's face it, when life throws challenges your way, it's easy to feel defeated. It's natural to want to give up, to throw your hands up and say, this is too much, I can't do it. But here's the thing, you are far more capable than you give yourself credit for. When things get tough, that's exactly when you need to push harder, because every challenge you face is a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think about it. The greatest people throughout history, the ones who changed the world, didn't get to where they were by avoiding challenges. They didn't just get handed success on a silver platter. They faced tough times just like you. The difference is they didn't back down, they didn't run away. Instead, they faced their challenges head on, and that's exactly what you need to do. When a challenge comes your way, don't try to avoid it. Don't shy away from it. Lean into it. Embrace it. It might sound a little counterintuitive. Why would you want to embrace something that's difficult, uncomfortable, or downright scary? But here's the thing. Challenges don't last forever. They're temporary. And when you face them head on, you learn how to navigate through them. You build experience and strength along the way. And the best part? You come out on the other side better than you were before. When you face a challenge, you're forced to think creatively. You can't rely on the same old strategies that worked in the past, because what you're up against is something new. This is your chance to innovate, to think outside the box, and to come up with new solutions. Sure, it might be frustrating at first, but that frustration is often the spark that ignites new ideas, new approaches, and new ways of doing things. It's the fire that forges you into something greater. But here's the kicker. Facing challenges isn't just about learning new things. It's also about uncovering what's inside you. When you face a challenge, you discover your true potential. You learn what you're made of. You realize how far you're willing to go, how much you're willing to sacrifice, and how much strength you truly have. It's in those tough moments that you find out what you're really capable of. And trust me, you're capable of more than you think. Now, I know it's not always easy. In fact, it can be downright hard sometimes. There are going to be days when you want to quit. There will be moments when you feel like you're stuck, and no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to make any progress. But this is when you need to dig deep. This is when you need to push through, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere, because it's not about instant success, it's about persistence. It's about showing up every single day, even when you're tired, frustrated, or overwhelmed. The people who succeed in life are the ones who keep going, no matter how hard things get. And here's another truth. Challenges are where you build character. It's easy to be confident and composed when things are going well, but it's in the tough times that your true character is revealed. It's when you're under pressure, when you're tested, that you show who you really are. Do you give up when things get tough, or do you rise to the occasion? Do you let the challenge break you, or do you use it as fuel to become stronger? The thing is, challenges teach you something about yourself that nothing else can. They reveal your weaknesses, but more importantly, they give you the chance to turn those weaknesses into strengths. The more you face, the more you learn. The more you learn, the better prepared you are for the next challenge that comes your way. And when that next challenge comes, because it will, you'll be better equipped to handle it. You'll have more tools in your toolbox, more experience under your belt, and more confidence in your ability to overcome whatever comes your way. So what do you do when a challenge presents itself? You face it head on. You take it on with everything you've got. And when things get tough, and they will get tough, you remind yourself of the bigger picture. You remember that this challenge is not the end. It's just a part of your journey. It's just one chapter in the bigger story of your life, and you can't let one chapter define you. You're writing your own story, and that story isn't finished yet. The more challenges you face, the more resilient you become. You start to see challenges as opportunities, not obstacles. You start to view them as stepping stones on your path to greatness, and when you adopt this mindset, nothing can stop you. When you face challenges with a positive, proactive attitude, you open up a world of possibilities. You start to see the potential for growth in every situation, and that's when your life begins to change in extraordinary ways. But there's something else I want you to remember. When you face challenges, it's important to keep a positive attitude. Yes, things might be hard right now. Yes, it might seem impossible, but don't let your mind spiral into negativity. Don't let doubt and fear take over. Instead, focus on what you can control. Focus on the actions you can take to move forward. Remember, your attitude will determine your altitude. The way you approach challenges will shape the outcome. So keep your mind in the right place, keep your head up, and stay focused on the solution, not the problem. And when you finally overcome that challenge, and you will overcome it, take a moment to celebrate. Don't just move on to the next problem without acknowledging the progress you've made. Take pride in the fact that you faced something difficult and came out on the other side stronger. Celebrate the victory, no matter how small it might seem. Every win is worth acknowledging. Every challenge you overcome is a step closer to the person you want to become. Facing challenges is never easy, but it is one of the most rewarding things you can do for yourself. It forces you to grow, to become stronger, and to realize your true potential. When you stop running from your challenges and start facing them head on, that's when your life truly begins to change. And remember, challenges don't last forever. You will get through this, and when you do, you'll be that much closer to the person you were always meant to be. Keep going, keep fighting. You've got this. When life feels overwhelming, when things don't go the way you planned, it's easy to slip into a negative mindset. It's easy to look at the obstacles in front of you and think, this is never going to work. I'm stuck. But what I want to tell you today is this: your attitude is everything. No matter how tough life gets, staying optimistic can make all the difference. Optimism isn't just a feel-good mindset. It's a powerful tool that can carry you through the hardest times, and believe me, it's a tool that you can develop with practice. Let's talk about optimism. It's not about being unrealistic or ignoring the challenges you face. Optimism is not about wearing rose-colored glasses and pretending that everything is perfect when it's not. It's about seeing the possibilities even when the road ahead looks difficult. It's about believing that things can improve and taking action toward making them better even when you don't know exactly how things will turn out. Optimism isn't about avoiding the tough stuff. It's about facing it with the belief that no matter how hard it is, you can and will get through it. I know life can throw some curveballs. We've all been there. Sometimes it feels like the universe is conspiring against us. The job falls through, the relationship falls apart, the plans you've made crumble. And in those moments, it's easy to fall into despair. It's easy to ask, why me? But if you want to change your life, if you want to see things improve, then you have to change your perspective. You have to choose optimism even in the face of adversity. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that optimism is some magic fix that makes everything better overnight. But what I am saying is that when you choose to stay optimistic, you change the way you see the world. Instead of focusing on the problems, you start looking for solutions. Instead of seeing failure as the end, you begin to see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Optimism is the fuel that helps you keep moving forward no matter how many setbacks you face. Think about the times in your life when things didn't go as planned. Maybe you faced a setback that seemed insurmountable, or maybe you had a failure that left you questioning everything. Now think about how you responded to those challenges. Did you throw in the towel, or did you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going? The truth is, the most successful people are the ones who don't give up when things get tough. They keep their optimism alive even in the darkest of times because they know that tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here's a secret that I want to share with you. Optimism isn't something you're born with, it's something you choose. It's a mindset that you can cultivate just like any other skill. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. The first step to being more optimistic is to shift your focus. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong, start focusing on what's going right. Instead of thinking about the roadblocks in front of you, think about the possibilities on the other side of those roadblocks. When you begin to focus on the positive aspects of your life, even when everything around you seems negative, you'll start to notice that the world isn't as bad as it seems. But optimism doesn't just mean seeing the good in situations, it also means believing in your own ability to change things. Optimism is about having faith in yourself even when things aren't going well. It's about trusting that you have the strength, the skills, and the resources to get through anything that comes your way. Because here's the thing, you've faced challenges before. You've overcome obstacles. You've made it through tough times. And that means that you can do it again. The challenges you face today are no different than the ones you faced in the past. You just need to believe in your own ability to handle them. You see, staying optimistic doesn't mean you're ignoring reality. It means you're choosing to focus on what you can control instead of dwelling on what's beyond your control. You can't always control the events that happen in your life, but you can control how you respond to those events. When you choose to respond with optimism, you change your energy, your mindset, and your results. You're not letting life dictate your mood or your outlook. You're taking control of how you perceive the world and how you show up every day. The power of optimism is that it's contagious. When you stay positive, when you keep your energy up and your focus on the good, you inspire the people around you to do the same. Your optimism can lift others up even when they're struggling. It's easy to get caught up in negativity, especially when you're surrounded by people who are negative. But when you bring optimism into your interactions with others, you change the dynamic. You create an environment where people feel encouraged, supported, and motivated to keep going. Optimism doesn't mean ignoring the hard times. It means acknowledging them but not letting them define you. It means facing those hard times with the belief that they are temporary, that you have the ability to work through them, and that better days are ahead. It means choosing to see the potential in every situation, no matter how difficult it may seem. And the more you practice this mindset, the easier it becomes to find the silver lining in every cloud. You see, optimism isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about believing that despite imperfections and setbacks, you can and will make progress. It's about recognizing that growth doesn't happen overnight, but it happens consistently over time. Optimism is about trusting the process and trusting yourself to take the necessary steps to get where you want to go. I know it's not always easy to stay optimistic, especially when life throws curveballs your way, but I promise you this, your attitude can make all the difference. When you choose to be optimistic, you put yourself in the driver's seat of your life. You stop letting circumstances control your mood and your actions. You take control of your own happiness, and that's a powerful thing. So when life gets tough, when things feel uncertain or overwhelming, choose optimism. Believe in yourself. Believe that you have the strength to overcome any obstacle, the wisdom to learn from any failure, and the resilience to keep moving forward no matter what. And most importantly, keep your focus on the good, because when you do, you'll start to see how much power you really have to change your life for the better. Optimism isn't about pretending things are perfect. It's about believing no matter what that things will get better. And that belief will carry you through even the toughest times. When it comes to personal growth, success, and building the life you've always wanted, it's not just about achieving your own dreams to number. It's also about giving back to others. It's about contributing to the people around you and the world at large. And you may wonder why this is so important, especially if you're focused on achieving your own goals. The truth is, helping others and making a positive impact is not just good for them, it's also incredibly powerful for you. It's a key part of what makes life meaningful. When you contribute to others, you create a ripple effect. The energy, time, and resources you give don't just stop with one person. It spreads and it starts to come back to you in ways you can't always predict. You may not see it immediately, but every act of kindness, every time you lift someone up or share your knowledge, you're planting seeds that can one day lead to unexpected rewards. And it's not just about tangible rewards, it's about how it feels to know that you've made a difference, no matter how small that difference might seem. There's a satisfaction, a fulfillment that comes from knowing you've helped someone along their journey. We live in a world that often prioritizes individual achievement. Everyone is pushing forward, striving for their own success, and that's fine. Personal success is important. But what people sometimes forget is that the real measure of success is not in how much you've achieved for yourself, but in how much you've been able to help others along the way. Now think about it. Who do you remember most in your life? The people who have helped you, the ones who have supported you when you were down, the ones who showed you the way when you were lost. Those are the people who make a lasting impact. Now, I'm not telling you to give up everything or become a martyr for the world. What I'm saying is this. Giving doesn't always have to be grand. It doesn't always have to be a huge sacrifice. It can be small, everyday things that add up over time. Maybe it's taking the time to listen to someone who's struggling. Maybe it's offering a word of encouragement when you see someone in need of it. Maybe it's sharing something you've learned with someone who's trying to get ahead. When you contribute in these small ways, it has a huge impact, both on the person you're helping and on you as well. I've seen this over and over again in my life. I've seen people who get caught up in the idea that they need to be perfect before they can help others, or that they need to achieve a certain level of success before they can make a difference. But that's just a lie we tell ourselves to hold us back. The truth is, you don't have to have everything figured out to contribute to others. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't have to be at the top of your game to help someone else. You can contribute right now, in this moment, with what you have. I want you to think for a moment about what happens when you help someone. When you give, whether it's your time, knowledge, or just your presence, you not only make their life a little better, you make your own life richer as well. You develop a sense of purpose, and that sense of purpose feeds back into everything you do. The more you contribute, the more you understand how connected we all are. You start to realize that no one is an island. We all need each other. We all benefit from each other. And when you make that connection, when you truly understand that we're all in this together, it changes everything. This doesn't mean you should give to the point where it drains you. You don't have to sacrifice your well-being in the name of helping others. What I'm talking about is the balance. Finding a way to contribute without losing yourself in the process. It's about being mindful of your own needs while also recognizing that you have something valuable to offer. Even in the toughest times in your life, even when you're facing challenges of your own, there is always something you can give, and that's what makes life beautiful. You might think that contributing to others requires you to be a superhero, to go above and beyond. But the truth is, it's the small things that matter most. It's the moments when you take a second to truly care about someone else. It's when you show someone you're there for them, that you're rooting for them, that you believe in their potential. Those moments create a bond that lasts, and they contribute to your own growth in ways that are hard to describe. You begin to see the world differently when you start contributing. You stop focusing solely on what you're getting and start focusing on what you can give. And when you do that, you'll find that life gives back to you in ways that you never expected. But think about the relationships in your life. What are they based on? Are they based on what you can get from other people, or are they based on what you can give? True relationships, true connections with others are built on mutual contribution. When you contribute to someone else's life, you build trust, you build respect, and you build a bond that lasts. And when you need it most, you'll find that those same people will be there for you, offering their support, encouragement, and love in return. But I want to be clear. This isn't about expecting something in return. This isn't about keeping score. The true power of contribution is that you give without the need for recognition or reward. It's not about the accolades you get or the praises you receive. It's about the impact you have on someone's life. It's about knowing that you've made a difference, that your actions have lifted someone up and helped them move forward. And when you start to live your life in this way, something incredible happens. You stop focusing so much on your own problems. You stop worrying about the things you don't have and start appreciating what you do have. You realize that giving is not a burden, it's a privilege. When you help others, you elevate yourself. You become a better person not because of what you've achieved, but because of the positive impact you've had on the world. So no matter where you are in life, no matter how much or how little you may have, you have something to contribute. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're already successful. Everyone has something valuable to offer, and when you give, when you contribute, you start to see how your life becomes more fulfilling. You see how much you really do have to give and how much of an impact you can make no matter where you are in your journey. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment. You don't have to wait for the perfect circumstances. Start contributing today. It doesn't have to be huge, just one small act of kindness, one moment of generosity, one piece of wisdom shared with someone else. That's where it all starts. And as you continue to give, you'll find that the more you give, the more you receive in return. Not necessarily in material things, but in the fulfillment and joy that comes from knowing you've made a difference. Contribution isn't just about giving material things, it's about giving of yourself, your time, your knowledge, your encouragement. It's all valuable, and when you give it freely, you'll find that it enriches your life in ways you can't even imagine. The more you give, the more you receive, and it's this cycle, this continuous flow of giving and receiving that makes life truly worthwhile. Let's really think about that for a second. What does that even mean? How do you go about finding your purpose, and why is it so important? Your purpose is what gives your life direction. It's the reason you get up every morning, even on the days when everything seems to be falling apart. It's that deep, burning drive that pushes you forward when everything else around you tells you to stop. Without purpose, life feels like you're just drifting, like you're going through the motions without a clear reason. You might feel like you're busy, but that doesn't mean you're being productive. You might feel like you're achieving, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting closer to your goals. And most importantly, you might feel like something is missing, but you don't know what island. That's why purpose is so powerful. When you have a strong sense of purpose, nothing can really knock you off course. It's like having a map in your hand when everyone else is just wandering around trying to figure out where they're going. Purpose gives you a direction and keeps you focused on what truly matters. It gives you the strength to push through hard times, to stay committed when things get tough, and to keep moving forward even when the path ahead seems unclear. But the truth is, discovering your purpose isn't something that just happens overnight. It's not something that someone else can give you. It's something that you have to find for yourself. It's a journey, and that journey requires deep reflection, patience, and a willingness to explore what truly drives you. It's about understanding what you care about, what gets you excited, and what makes you feel alive. You might be thinking, but Jim, I don't know what my purpose is yet. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. And that's okay. It's okay to not have it all figured out. The key is to start asking yourself the right questions. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What do I love doing? What brings me fulfillment? These are not just throwaway questions. These are the questions that will lead you to your purpose. Sometimes your purpose might not be clear because you're focused too much on the what and not enough on the why. We're so focused on the end result, on what success looks like, that we forget to focus on the reason behind what we're doing. Why do you want to achieve what you're working toward? What's the real reason you want to do it? When you connect with that deeper why, that's when your purpose starts to become clear. Your purpose is connected to your values, to the things that matter most to you. It's not just about getting ahead or making money. It's about contributing to the world in a meaningful way, about making a difference. Think about some of the most successful people in the world. They didn't just wake up one day and decide to be successful. They found something they were passionate about, something they truly cared about, and they dedicated themselves to it. That's what makes them successful, their purpose. It's not the money, the fame, or the recognition. It's the drive to pursue something meaningful. And that's something you can do too. Now let's talk about why having purpose is so important. When you don't have a clear purpose, it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to fall into the trap of doing what everyone else is doing, of following the crowd. But when you know your purpose, you make decisions based on your own values, not someone else's. You don't just say yes to every opportunity that comes your way because it seems good at the time. You become more selective. You start focusing only on what aligns with your purpose, and that's how you create real lasting success. Having purpose also helps you stay resilient. Life throws curveballs, and it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go the way you planned. But when you have a purpose, you have something to fall back on. You have something that can keep you moving forward even in the face of adversity. Purpose provides you with a sense of meaning during tough times. It gives you a reason to keep going when everything feels like it's falling apart. And that's what makes purpose so powerful. It's not just something that guides you during the good times, but it's also something that pulls you through the bad times. And you know, purpose isn't just about your personal goals. It's about how you can serve others. It's about how you can use your talents, your skills, and your passion to make the world a better place. Your purpose is not just about you. It's about how you can contribute to the lives of others. When you find your purpose, it's not just about living for yourself. It's about living for something bigger than yourself. It's about finding ways to help, to inspire, to make a difference. And when you start living with that mindset, that's when you experience real fulfillment. But don't expect to find your purpose all at once. It's a process. It's a journey that unfolds over time. And it's okay to change direction as you go. Your purpose might not be set in stone. It can and will evolve as you grow, as you learn more about yourself and the world around you. The important thing is to keep moving forward, keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep looking for that thing that makes you feel alive. And one more thing, you don't have to wait for the perfect moment to find your purpose. You don't have to wait for everything to line up perfectly. If you keep waiting for the right time, you may be waiting forever. Your purpose is something you discover through action. The more you get out there and try new things, the more you'll learn about yourself and what drives you. You might not find it immediately, but you'll get closer each day. The world doesn't owe you anything. Success isn't something that's handed to you. It's something you earn, and it's earned through patience, persistence, and action. If you want to achieve something great, you have to be willing to stay the course no matter how long it takes. Keep pushing, keep growing, keep learning, and remember your efforts will pay off. It's not a question of if but when. Stay patient, stay relentless, and never stop moving forward. So if you're unsure about your purpose, don't stress. Start with small steps. Focus on what excites you. Explore what makes you feel fulfilled. Listen to your intuition and take action. Keep moving toward the things that matter most to you, and over time your purpose will reveal itself. And once you find it, hold on to it. Let it guide you, let it fuel your actions, and let it give you the strength to overcome anything that stands in your way. Confidence is one of those qualities that can transform everything in your life. But it's also one that many people struggle with. You see, it's not about being loud or flashy. It's not about showing off or acting like you have it all figured out. True confidence comes from within. It's about knowing who you are, knowing what you stand for, and believing that you are worthy of success, happiness, and respect. Your purpose is what will sustain you through life's ups and downs. It's what will keep you grounded when the world tries to knock you down. It's what will push you to keep going when everything else seems to be falling apart. And it's what will help you live a life of meaning, a life of true success. Now let me tell you something. Confidence is built through action. You don't wake up one day and just magically feel confident. It's something you earn through every decision you make, every risk you take, and every time you step outside your comfort zone. The more you push yourself, the more you stretch your boundaries, the more your confidence will grow. But it's not just about doing things that make you feel good. It's about doing the things that challenge you, that force you to grow, and that prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. But here's the tricky part. Confidence can sometimes be mistaken for arrogance. The line is fine, but it's important to understand that true confidence is rooted in humility. When you're confident, you know that you're good at what you do, but you also understand that there's always room for improvement. You're open to feedback, to learning, and to growing. You don't walk around thinking you know everything, but you walk around believing in yourself and your abilities. I want you to think for a moment. How often do we hesitate when it comes to making decisions? How many times have we sat back unsure, caught up in overthinking, trying to figure out every detail before we act? Let me tell you something. Waiting for the perfect moment or hoping for the right time will keep you stuck in the same place. Life doesn't wait for perfection. It doesn't wait for you to have everything figured out. Life moves forward, and if you're not acting, if you're not taking the steps, you're going to fall behind. On the other hand, arrogance is about showing off, putting others down, and pretending to know more than you do. It's about building yourself up at the expense of others. Confidence doesn't need to prove anything, it simply exists. It doesn't need to be loud. Just island arrogance, however, is loud because it needs validation. It needs to make others feel inferior in order to feel superior. That's not what we're after here. We want true, grounded confidence. The truth is, it's easy to delay action. We tell ourselves we'll do it tomorrow, or we need just a little more time to plan, or we're just not ready yet. But here's the thing. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment to act, you're never going to get there. The moment is right now. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to have every single piece of the puzzle in place. What you need is to take that first step, act without delay, make the decision, and commit. Because here's what happens when you don't act. The world keeps moving, the opportunities you could have seized are gone, and what's left behind is regret, wondering what if. It's a painful place to be in, and it's unnecessary. When you act right now, you break free from hesitation and uncertainty. You create momentum. And that momentum is what drives you towards success. Now let's dive into something that's often misunderstood: humility. Humility doesn't mean downplaying your achievements or hiding your talents. It doesn't mean being weak or passive. It means having a realistic understanding of your abilities and knowing that no matter how far you've come, there's always more to learn and more room to grow. Humility is the awareness that you're not perfect, but that's okay. It's the understanding that you don't know everything, and that's okay too. It's the willingness to stay open, to listen, and to grow, all while maintaining a strong sense of self-belief. Look, I understand. Taking action can be scary. There are a lot of unknowns, and that can feel overwhelming. But that's exactly why you need to act anyway. Because it's in those moments of uncertainty that you grow the most. You learn, you adapt. And as long as you keep moving, as long as you keep taking those small steps forward, you'll get closer to where you want to be. The key is to take action regardless of how much you know or how ready you feel. When you balance confidence with humility, you become someone people want to be around. You become someone who inspires others, someone who lifts them up rather than putting them down. You become someone who leads by example, someone who doesn't just talk about doing the right thing, but actually does it. People are drawn to those who are genuinely confident because they make others feel confident too. They don't need to make others feel small in order to feel big. They're secure enough in who they are that they can lift up those around them. And here's the key to all of this. True confidence doesn't come from external validation. It doesn't come from likes on social media or compliments from other people. It comes from your inner belief in yourself. It comes from knowing that you are enough, that you are capable, and that you have everything you need within you to achieve whatever you set your mind to. I want you to think about a time when you waited too long. Think about the times when you held back thinking you'd be ready soon, but soon never came. Maybe it was a project you wanted to start but never did. Maybe it was a job opportunity that passed you by because you were too afraid to take the lead. I want you to remember how that felt. It's painful, right? That sense of wasted potential, of knowing you could have done something but you didn't. And that pain, that's the pain of delay, and trust me, you don't want to feel that. But here's the thing. Your confidence will be tested. Life has a way of challenging us, of knocking us down when we least expect it. But in those moments, that's when you get to prove your confidence. You get to show yourself what you're made of. The way you react in the face of adversity will either build your confidence or break it down. And that's why it's so important to understand that confidence isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about facing them head on, knowing that no matter the outcome, you can handle it. You can't afford to wait forever. Every single day is an opportunity that you can either take advantage of or let slip away. The longer you wait, the more chances you miss, and the more chances you miss, the further you get from your goals. So stop waiting. You're ready now. You don't need to be perfect to take action. You don't need to have all the answers right now. All you need is the courage to move forward and trust that you'll figure it out as you go. Think about the great achievements in history, whether it's in business, in art, or in personal development. None of those successes happened because the people involved waited for everything to be just right of number. They took action when they didn't have all the answers. They acted when they didn't feel ready. They acted despite the fear, despite the doubts, and despite the uncertainty. They moved anyway. When you face challenges with confidence, you don't let fear dictate your actions. You don't let self-doubt take over. Instead, you acknowledge the fear, but you don't let it control you. You keep moving forward, knowing that every step you take is a step toward your growth. The more you face fear, the more you build your confidence. Because each time you do something that scares you and come out the other side, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. Confidence also isn't about being perfect. It's about being okay with your imperfections. It's about accepting yourself, flaws and all. When you're confident, you don't feel the need to hide your weaknesses or pretend you're something you're not. You embrace who you are and work to improve every day. You understand that you don't need to be perfect to be worthy of success, love, and respect. You just need to be the best version of yourself. That's why it's so important to act without delay. The sooner you act, the sooner you learn, and the sooner you start making progress. You can't make progress by just thinking about something. You have to act on it. And the action you take doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the final polished version. All that matters is that you take that first step. Once you take it, you can adjust, learn, and adapt. But you can't do any of that if you stay stuck in hesitation. And here's the final piece of the puzzle. Confidence is contagious. When you walk into a room, when you speak to others, when you take action with conviction, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. People will start to believe in you because you believe in yourself. They will see your confidence, feel your energy, and it will inspire them to believe in themselves too. There's a powerful thing that happens when you decide to act. You take control of your future. You stop letting life dictate the terms, and you start creating your own path. Every decision you make, every action you take puts you one step closer to the life you want to create. But let's be clear. It's not about being arrogant. It's not about showing off. It's about being secure enough in yourself that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just do what you do, and you do it well. You set the example for others, and you let your actions speak louder than words. I want to remind you that perfection isn't the goal. Progress Island. It's about taking that first step and then building on it. The more you act, the more you learn, the better you get. But none of that happens if you stay stuck in your head wondering if you're making the right move. The truth is there's no right move. There's just movement, action. Confidence is about self-belief, yes, but it's also about the ability to remain humble and grounded. It's about knowing that no matter how much you accomplish, you're always learning, always growing, and always improving. Confidence doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop doubting your ability to grow. It means you trust yourself to keep going no matter what challenges come your way. If you want to see change in your life, you have to be willing to act. You have to be willing to face the fear and push through it. The fear of failure, the fear of making mistakes, the fear of the unknown. It's all part of the journey, and it's all worth it. Because when you act, you give yourself the opportunity to succeed. When you act, you create opportunities that wouldn't exist if you stayed stuck in your comfort zone. So stop waiting, start acting, take that first step. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be huge, but it needs to be taken now. Don't let fear or doubt stop you from moving forward. Don't let uncertainty hold you back. The moment you take action, you take control, and that's when your life starts to change. It's one of the most powerful habits you can develop on your path to success. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to think about the next big goal, the next big achievement, the next big thing. We're always looking ahead, always striving for more. But in the rush to reach those big goals, we forget to pause and appreciate the small victories along the way. You've got everything you need to succeed right now. All you need is the courage to act. So no more waiting, no more wondering. It's time to move. The sooner you do, the sooner you'll start seeing results. And remember, you don't have to see the whole path right now. Just take the first step and the rest will unfold as you go. Keep moving, keep pushing forward. You've got this. Here's the thing. You can't wait until you've reached the top of the mountain to celebrate. Life is made up of small steps, small wins, and if you ignore them, you're missing out on a huge part of the journey. These small wins are what keep you motivated. They're what fuel your momentum, and they remind you that you're on the right track. Now, you might be thinking, what's so special about small wins? Aren't they just insignificant little things that don't matter in the grand scheme of things? Well, I'm here to tell you that small wins are everything. They're the building blocks of success. Every time you accomplish something, no matter how small it seems, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of achieving your goals. You're proving that you're making progress, and that's what keeps you going. Without celebrating those small wins, you lose the energy to keep moving forward. The journey you're on isn't always going to be smooth. Life has a way of testing us, of throwing obstacles in our path to see how badly we want something. And here's the truth. You're going to face challenges. There's no escaping it. But that doesn't mean you should back down, and it doesn't mean you should give up. What separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. It's the willingness to push through, to keep going even when things aren't going your way. Patience doesn't mean standing still. It doesn't mean waiting for things to fall into place. It means keeping your head down, staying focused, and moving forward no matter how slowly you might feel like you're moving. The process isn't always going to be instant. You won't always get results right away. But that's where your patience and your persistence come in. You've probably heard people say that success is a journey, not a destination, and that's absolutely true. Success isn't just about reaching the end goal. It's about everything you do along the way. It's about who you become in the process. The small wins are what shape you, what build your confidence, and what make the journey worthwhile. I know that when things don't happen quickly, it can be discouraging. When you don't see the immediate results of your hard work, it's easy to start questioning yourself, am I doing the right thing? Why isn't this working? Is it worth it? But let me tell you something. What's worth having is rarely something that comes easy or fast. The most valuable things in life take time. Think about it. How many times have you set a big goal for yourself and felt discouraged because it felt so far out of reach? It's easy to get overwhelmed by the sheer size of your goals, to look at the mountain ahead and feel like it's impossible to climb. But when you break it down into smaller steps, when you start focusing on the small wins, it becomes a lot easier. You start to see that success is made up of these smaller, more manageable moments, and each one of those moments gets you closer to where you want to be. Celebrating small wins also helps you maintain a positive mindset. When you achieve something, no matter how small, it reinforces the belief that you're capable of achieving more. It reminds you that progress is happening even if it doesn't always feel like it. The more you celebrate these small wins, the more you reinforce the habit of success. You start to see the value in every step you take, and that mindset shifts how you approach every challenge. You stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. The truth is, you're going to hit roadblocks, you're going to fail, you're going to fall down, and you might even feel like throwing in the towel. But here's the thing, those who succeed are the ones who get up when they fall. They don't stay down. They don't quit just because the road is rough, and you can't either. It's also important to remember that celebrating small wins isn't just about acknowledging the big moments of achievement. It's about recognizing all the little things you do on a daily basis that are moving you closer to your goals. Did you show up today? That's a win. Did you take action even if it wasn't perfect? That's a win. Did you learn something new, no matter how small? That's a win. These are the moments that often go unnoticed, but they're the ones that really add up. It's easy to lose faith in the process when things don't go the way you expect, but that's the very moment when you need to dig in your heels and push harder. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't the ones who get it right the first time or who have it all figured out from the start. They're the ones who keep going despite the setbacks, despite the mistakes, despite the struggles. And here's the beauty of it. When you start celebrating the small wins, you start to feel more motivated, more driven, and more confident. You begin to realize that you don't have to wait for some huge life-changing moment to feel successful. You can feel successful every single day just by acknowledging the progress you've made. It's easy to want to give up when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, when you're stuck in the middle of a difficult situation. It can feel like there's no way out. But what you need to remember is that every time you face a challenge and keep moving, you're one step closer to your goal. The only way to truly fail is to stop trying. If you keep pushing, even when it feels like nothing is happening, you will eventually reach the point where everything clicks. But let's be real for a second. There will be days when the wins feel small or even non-existent. You'll face setbacks, challenges, and moments of self-doubt. It happens to everyone, even the most successful people. But even in those tough times, you can still find small wins. Maybe it's just the fact that you didn't give up. Maybe it's that you learned something valuable from a failure. Maybe it's that you kept going even when it felt hard. Those are small wins too, and they're just as important. Patience, however, doesn't mean being passive. It's not about waiting for things to just fall into your lap. It's about working relentlessly toward your goal, taking consistent, deliberate action, and trusting that your hard work will pay off in the end. But it also means understanding that the journey will take time. Your efforts won't always produce immediate results, and that's okay. You don't get discouraged when things don't happen quickly. Keep working, keep learning, keep growing, and keep trusting the process. Celebrating small wins also helps you stay focused. When you're constantly striving for the next big thing, it's easy to get distracted and lose sight of what's important. By celebrating small wins, you keep yourself grounded in the present moment. You remind yourself of the progress you've made, and you recognize that every little step is part of the bigger picture. You have to trust that the work you're doing now will pay off in the future. That even when you don't see results today, the steps you're taking are moving you forward. It's easy to get caught up in instant gratification, in wanting things to happen quickly. But the truth is that most things worth having take time. Building a successful business, cultivating a deep relationship, achieving a health transformation, these things don't happen overnight. They take time, patience, and consistent effort. Here's something else. When you celebrate your small wins, you're also reinforcing the habit of consistency. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces in achieving success. It's not about doing one big thing and hoping it works out. It's about showing up day after day, making small improvements, and staying committed to your goals. By celebrating your small wins, you're reinforcing the idea that consistency is key. You're telling yourself that every small effort counts, and that's what adds up to big results over time. It's not about doing something once and expecting massive results. It's about showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't see immediate results, and even when the road ahead looks long and hard. Real success doesn't come from overnight victories. It comes from consistent, focused, relentless effort over time. But don't stop at just celebrating your own wins. Take the time to celebrate the wins of those around you, too. When you acknowledge and appreciate the success of others, it not only strengthens your relationships, but it also reminds you that success is something that's available to everyone. There's no shortage of success, and there's no need to compare your journey to anyone else's. By celebrating the small wins of others, you create a culture of positivity and support that lifts everyone up. When you get frustrated, when you feel like giving up, remind yourself why you started in the first place. Think about the vision you have for your life, the person you're becoming, and the future you're working toward. That's the motivation that will keep you going. Keep your eyes on the prize and remember that everything you're working for is worth it. As you move forward on your journey, remember that success isn't just about the destination, it's about the process. It's about the effort, the growth, and the lessons learned along the way. The small wins are what make the journey meaningful. They're what give you the fuel to keep going when things get tough. So don't wait for the big moments to celebrate. Celebrate every step you take, every effort you make, and every little victory you achieve. Because those small wins, they're the real key to creating the life you want. They're the foundation of your success, and they're worth celebrating every single day. There's a powerful quote by Les Brown that says, "Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars," and that's how you need to think about your journey. Even when you fall short of your expectations, even when you don't hit the target exactly where you thought you would, you're still moving closer to your goal. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. The key is not to rush the process, but to commit to it. To trust that the work you're putting in today will lead to success tomorrow. It may not happen as quickly as you want it to, but if you keep at it, it will happen. And that success will feel so much sweeter when it does, because you'll know that it didn't come easy, you earned it. But patience alone isn't enough. Patience must be paired with relentless determination. You can't just wait for things to happen. You have to take action every single day, no matter how hard it island. You have to be willing to push yourself, to stay the course, and to trust that every setback is just a lesson that's pushing you closer to your ultimate goal. So be patient, but don't be passive. Keep pushing forward. Keep working even when you feel tired. Keep believing even when things don't look like they're going your way. Every great success story is filled with moments of doubt, of difficulty, and of delay. But it's also filled with moments of persistence, hard work, and unwavering belief. You're writing your story right now, and the ending depends on how you show up every single day.